Next chapter, communications. Controller area network, that's what the CAN is, okay? First word in the beginning of this chapter. Controller area network, all right? Network communications, you guys know that cars have lots of computers on them, right? They have to talk to each other, okay? One has to know what's going on with the other one because they all work together, okay? Make their car work properly, right? How do computers talk to each other?
Send the signal.
What language do they use?
Electricity.
Okay, they use they use voltage, they communicate by voltage, right? By certain voltage signals, binary language, right? Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that's the way binary, yeah, ones and zeros basically, yeah. All right. All of those are connected to a connector on the diagnostic link connector. Your car, the 16-pin connector you plug scan tool into, okay? Through that connector, you can communicate with any of the control modules on the car, right? We're going to go through the types of networks that they use, features of a controller area network. We're going to go through different types of, for European, Asian, US, all that kind of stuff. But as I mentioned before, I will emphasize what you're really going to have to remember because you just can't absorb it all, okay? OBD2, what year did that start? What was the first OBD2 car, onboard diagnostics generation 2, what year was it?
1990?
No.
Didn't you say it was like back in the 70s or something like that? We went over this a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Was it in like the 70s?
Mm.
Earlier, later?
Every vehicle, 96 or newer, is OBD2 as a standardized 16-pin diagnostic
I
connector.
was close.
Why would you say?
I said 90.
Oh, okay. 96.
96.
Everything has a standardized 16-pin diagnostic connector you can plug any scan tool into, okay? Why do you need network communications? Because cars have lots of computers on them.
Is that in this chapter, or are you just asking to see if we remembered?
That's not going to be in this chapter. I'm just telling you because of the way this chapter is structured for OBD2 communications, okay? You're not going to need to know that, but it's a good idea to know that. That way, if you're working on a car 95 or older, you know that you can't use that scan tool. It won't work.
Gotcha.
All right? It's got to be 96 or newer. Typical vehicle can have more than 10 computers on it. They have to communicate with each other. They do it through serial data lines. Advantages are decreased number of wires and common sensor data can be shared. Yeah.
So if I had like a 93 car
Mm-hmm.
and I'd take it to go get registered or smog,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have to worry about the OBD, or not the OBD, but like
You wouldn't have to worry about the check engine light?
no, not the check engine light. Well, yeah, that too, because I would come up with OBD. But
If the check engine light's on one of those cars, it doesn't matter. They're tested through the tailpipe.
okay,
So if you have a car 95 or older and you take it to get a smog test, they don't plug it in. They don't plug it
Yeah.
into the computer. They tailpipe test it.
okay.
They actually check the HCCO and all that kind of stuff through the tailpipe.
So let's say the emissions on it were bad. If I were to just throw on like a new exhaust system and take it up there, I'd be fine.
Depends on what was wrong with it. If the HC was high, if the CO was high, if it was running rich, or if it had electrical or ignition system problem, depends on what it is.
Okay. How far
So
does
if
it go?
if it fails, for some reason, they used to give you a printout of where it failed, what area, what was high, and the standard for that year.
Okay.
But now they just give you a pass-fail, which doesn't really help you when you go to repair it. But,
Yeah.
so you would have to take it somewhere that's authorized to do a repair. And what they'll do is they'll put the machine in analyzer mode, and that will give them the actual readings of what's going on, and then they can tell you
Got you.
why the car failed. But if it's 96 or newer, it's tested through the diagnostic connector, not through the tailpipe, okay? Okay, common sensor data can be shared. That means you can have one coolant temperature sensor for the engine, and all of them can share that information because a lot of other controllers want to know what the engine temperature is. Just as an example, okay? Obviously, you don't need near as many wires on the car if the sensor data can be shared, and they can communicate with each other through these lines of communication. Okay. Module communication makes controlling multiple electrical devices and accessories easier by utilizing simple current switches to signal another module, which does the actual switching of the current to the device. Okay, we know what the advantages are, right? Common sensor data can be shared, not as many wires. There's going to node. Okay? Must be able to communicate with the other ones. Types of communication, parallel, multiplexing. There's going to be a question about multiplexing, which we'll get to. A network allows all the modules to communicate with each other, as you can see here. BCM, driver door, anti-lock brake control, ABS module, powertrain control module. They can all talk to each other. One wants to know what the other one's doing, okay? If there's a problem somewhere where, let's say, this guy can't talk to this guy's going to say, hey, he's not responding, okay? We'll actually set a U code for communications, and it'll say, body control module unable to communicate with driver door module, something like that.
Would that feel like to pop up on the dash somewhere?
Sometimes the check engine light will come on due to a communication code, sometimes it won't. But they'll typically be associated with another type of failure. So when you check it, it'll give you the code and then communication code as well. Sometimes communication codes will set a battery voltage as low. So if the battery's going bad in a car, the voltage is getting low, but the car still runs, it'll set these U codes in the modules. So when you replace a battery, you may just see all these codes in there that you just don't, you can ignore them at that point and just clear it and call it a day. Different types. There's ring link connector, Starlink, and a star ring, which is a hybrid combination of the two. Here is your 16-pin diagnostic connector called a DLC, Diagnostic Link Connector. This network reduces the number of wires it takes to interconnect all the modules. As you can see, these guys can all talk to each other through pin 1. And you can plug a scan tool into it and pick up any of this information. The scan tool knows what pins it communicates. So sometimes, I don't know if you've ever looked up I don't know, the generic kind of scanners that don't give you a really whole lot of information. Sometimes when you first turn them on or plug them in, it will say communicating or something like that. And it's trying to figure out what communication, what pin it uses, what type of communication system it's using, and it'll figure that out, and then it'll start to give you the information. But sometimes you'll see that come up on the scanner.
Do you use that, like the original one where you plug it in and it has like the whole little, like the block type of thing where it like just tells you there's a list on there? Like the one that you plug in, it's connected to it, directly to it, for the OBD?
I have a couple of different ones, but I have a Bluetooth one where you just plug the thing in and you can just take the, and you know, you can look at it from wherever.
The one that me and my homie use is like, it's called FixD, or Fixed.
Mhm.
It's, you plug it in, it tells you everything on your phone.
Oh, yeah. I've seen those, yeah.
Yeah, they're
I don't know how good they work or how
They're
much
pretty damn
information
good.
you get, but
Yeah.
works pretty good.
We've compared it to the old one he had, which there was no problems with. He just wanted that one because it was
Mhm.
easier to work with. Because that one you have to hit a button, go down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Click this to figure out what it is. You got to scroll down through each problem or whatever. This one you just go through the phone. It's the same thing. You tap it to figure it out. But since the screen's larger, You know,
Yeah.
you can just read it all without having to scroll all the way.
Hmm.
So on there, you gotta scroll down, deal with the dots and everything like that.
Yeah, yeah.
But the one on the app is just a lot better
Is
because
it?
it tells you how to fix it, what's wrong. I mean, same thing is, for that, but it gives you
So,
links.
yeah, and you're connected to the internet as well, so
Yeah.
sometimes you can just go, what does this code mean, and it'll give you
Exactly.
a description of
Yeah,
possible causes, yeah.
pretty cool.
I've seen them, I just haven't, I don't have one,
Yeah,
because I have the other types.
yeah.
Starlink connector, again, you don't have to worry too much about these. Class A, B, and C, this is just the speed that it communicates, all right? Class A is a low speed, 10,000 bits per second. Class B is a medium speed, 10,000 to 125,000 bits per second. Class C is high speed, 125 to 1 million bits per second. So depending on what it requires, it may communicate through Class A, Class B, or Class C, okay? All right. A lot of times communication systems, you'll see twisted pairs of wires. They do that to avoid interference. At the end of this, you see two resistor symbols, right? We call those terminating resistors. In this particular instance, these are 120 ohms, and they're in parallel. So what would you expect to see if you were checking that? We already did this, so you should know. What would you expect to see if you were going to check pin 6 and 14 on this particular system with your ohm meter? You forgot how parallel circuits work already? Already?
This one's just
I'm
different.
sorry.
It just looks different. So I'm just throwing me off.
Okay, how about if I draw it like this? Two 120 ohm resistors in parallel. Already forgot what it is, right?
That's two. I divide them on never mind. 60 ohms.
Divide the two legs by the 120, so it's just half.
Gotcha.
Okay, so you expect to see 60 ohms there if you were to check it with your ohm meter
Gotcha.
to see if those two terminating resistors were good. Okay. Let me see what we're gonna need to know here. UR data bus operates on baud rate of 80 millimeters. We'll get to that. Okay. UART uses a fixed pulse width switching between 0 and 5 volts. UART is what? Anybody know what that is?
It's a
Your-
serial data communications protocol that stands for Universal Asynchronous Receive and Transmit.
Exactly, universal asynchronous receive and transmit. Okay, your ENC or entertainment and comfort communication uses 0 to 12 volts, class 2, 0 to 7. There's one called Keyword, uses 0 to 12. GM, local area network, you have low speed, high speed. If you were looking at it on a scope, you would see that and there, we don't need to know all of this. Okay, here's your diagnostic connector. Some of these pins we talked about before are common to a lot of vehicles. One was the 12 volt, which is pin 16. The other one was the two grounds. The chassis ground and the PCM ground. Terminals 4 and 5 and 16. These other ones could be different for whatever communication system. These twisted pairs of wires they use to cancel interference. Like that. Don't need to worry about that. All right. We're not gonna go too forward, Chrysler, all that kind of stuff, because we don't really need to know all that. It's gonna give you just different types of communication systems that they use, which we don't really have to be too concerned with. That's your Chrysler one. All right, the controller area network, that one was developed in 93, or implemented in 93. Faster communication protocols, cost effective because it's easier system to use. Can use class A, B, or C, which we already talked about a little bit. Honda and Toyota, we're not gonna get into either. Different pins for different things, but there are universal ones. And we're not gonna get into that either because, again, you don't need to know that. This should look familiar, to Charles anyway. Breakout box, right? Don't see too many of them anymore. I was surprised to see it when I went in there, but yeah. So what that does is it will allow you to connect in between a controller and the harness, so you can actually pin certain probes without, poking wires and stuff like that. So, all right. As far as communication diagnosis, check everything that does and does not work. Module status test, resistance of terminating resistors, US bus voltages, DSO or digital storage oscilloscope to monitor waveforms. You can do that with the scan tool typically. Sometimes you can go to a message screen on your scan tool and it will tell you, are these modules active? As you can see, it tells you that all of them are in this particular case. That's what we were looking at a minute ago, checking those two resistors through the diagnostic connector. What does the meter say? Just what we said it was going to be, right?
60 ohms.
All right. Six and 14 will tell you that, okay? Okay, we talked about this a minute ago. These are your common 16-pin connector terminals for pretty much everybody. They'll all use the same thing. If you plug a scan tool into a vehicle and it doesn't work, first thing you're going to do is what?
Check the battery?
Hmm?
Check the battery?
Check the battery?
No. Maybe?
Check pin 16 to see if you got power there. That's what powers the scan tool. Okay? Take a test light and probe pin 16 of the diagnostic connector. It's going to be the bottom one on the right, very last one, okay? With your test light grounded, that light should light, okay? If it doesn't, the fuse that powers that's probably blown. Sometimes, we talked about that before, circuits will share the same fuse, so sometimes your power outlet to people charge their phones and stuff like that within their car, sometimes those will get shorted out for some reason, blows that fuse, and then your diagnostic connector doesn't work either, okay? This is gonna be the one you're gonna check right here, see? Three common ones, 4, 5, and 16, and as we go through the quiz, and I'll let you know what you're gonna absolutely have to remember, all right? Yay. Everybody done?
Yep.
All right.
Number one, which terminal of the data link connector does General Motors use for class 2 communication? B.
Okay. Terminal 2.
Which of these, commonly called D2B, is an optical bus system connecting audio, video, computer, and telephone components in a single link structure with a speed of up to 5,600,000 BPS, domestic digital bus? D.
All right. Number 3.
A module is also known as a node. B.
Yes, it is.
Number 4, which terminal of OBD2 data link connector is the chassis ground for all vehicles, A4.
Terminal 4 is the chassis ground for all vehicles, yes. Number 5. That's you.
It's B.
Hmm?
B or oh, it's A. Yeah.
What else do you know about this question? Okay. Number 6, low speed operates less than how many bits per second?
C, what was number 5?
Hey,
It was A, oh. Low speed networks operate at less than 10,000 bits per second.
Okay.
Number 7, the process of sending multiple signals of information at the same time over a single wire and separating a signal at receiving end is called B. Multiplexing.
Process of sending multiple signals is multiplexing, yes. And,
It's a
on the
one
test.
all right.
Which of these is a version of Byte Flight that is high-speed serial communication system for in-vehicle networks? Flex-ray bus.
A for that one.
Number 9, a high-speed CAN bus communicates with a schedule through which terminals? A, 6 and 14.
6 and 14.
Number 10, which of this is a signal wire communicators protocol using one master control model and many sub modules. Is B?
Is it B? Yes, it is. Motorola connector, MI. All right. Who knows the answer to this?
A. I mean D.
The universal asynchronous receive and transmit, or communicates on 8192. Sorry, not 8182, 8192.
Oh, C.
C. 8192. All right, we did 2. Number 3, what is the answer to number 3? Data bus being checked for voltage activity. Digital multimeter oscilloscope show constant 0 with the key on or off. This indicates what?
B.
B?
Is it B? I don't know. Wait. Is it? I might be thinking of something else, but is it a sleeping module? Because you gotta get to a specific speed before it actually wakes back up.
Okay. You're checking it for voltage activity. Key on or off, doesn't matter. Constant 0.
So I was right the first time.
Okay? We did number 4, and it's also going to show up later. Terminal 16 is used for what?
Number 16.
Terminal 16 of the diagnostic connector is for what?
B.
12 volt positive, that's your power source through scan tool, that's correct. Number 6, EM class 2. You remember that one?
0.
0 to 7 volts, yep, good. Modules known as node, we did that one. We did that one. Number 9, I think number 9 should have a thing right here. That should tell you something. Now that you know this, what's the answer?
I'm gonna go with B.
B?
Yeah.
You are correct. You cannot use a test light to check for voltage activity. Okay? All right. And number 10 is domestic digital bus. We did that one already as well. And that's the end of that. Chapter 50 deals with something that you're more familiar with, or at least you think you are, and that is batteries. If you care to mark the answers in the book for the chapter quiz on 576 and 7. Number 1 is what? C. Number 2 is B. Number 3 is A. Number 4 is A. 5 is B. 6 is B. 7 is C. 8 is C. 9 is D, terminal 5. Number 10, pin 16 is 12 volt positive, B. All right. Everything you always wanted to know about the battery in your car, and chapter 51 deals with what Tiffany is an expert at now, battery testing. So she'll be able to tell us all about that chapter. All right.
And you know the funny part is?
No, what?
They didn't even show me how to test a hybrid.
Oh, yeah, they won't do that. You actually have to be hybrid certified to even work on one, so
Yeah.
you'll get to that, but yeah. Okay, we're gonna tell you how they construct a battery and how it works.
Oh, can I take a nap?
Can you do what?
Nothing.
No, you can't.
No, I will not.
How charge indicators work? Batteries do not have charge indicators on them anymore. They used to. Had a
They
little-
did?
They had a little eye on them that you could look at, and it would be either green, or it would be dark, or it would be clear, and it meant different things. They don't have charge indicators on batteries anymore.
Is that like when Energizer came out with their batteries and you can hold either end and test it to see if it was good? Do you remember that? When
Mm-mm.
Energizer did that? It was either Energizer or Duracell. And they came out with batteries and you could test it and it would show you on the side if it was good or how much charge that battery had left.
It's like green or red.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about, but this is a little different than that. In the thing, this did not tell you, so all it meant is if that charge indicator was green, it just meant the battery was fully charged. Didn't mean it was good, okay? If it was dark, it meant needed recharge before you could test it. And if the eye was clear, or the charge indicator was clear, not clean, clear. I messed that up pretty good, didn't I? Okay, let's try this again. If it was a clear eye, it meant the battery was bad. Meaning it had insufficient electrolyte and just replace the battery. Okay? However, this is not information not going to do you any good because batteries don't have charge indicators anymore.
Some high-end cars, you can charge the battery, just leave it in the garage, you don't drive for it. Some,
What was that?
some, like high-end vehicles, like super cars and stuff,
Mhm.
they have like a plug, like, it's almost like a charger for the battery. You don't charge it at all, you just plug it in, charge it.
Oh, yeah, those are battery tenders. What they do is they just keep the battery from going dead. Any car's like that. If you let any car set long enough, the battery's gonna go dead.
Any kind of battery.
Any car, yep.
So I don't charge my car, just leave it.
Mhm.
Get a battery.
Yeah, you can buy them. You just leave it hooked up to the battery. What it does is it's just a slow trickle charger. It just kind of keeps the battery from going dead. It won't overcharge it. So that's a good part about it. You can leave it hooked up for months if you want.
How long can you leave a car without driving it?
Before the battery goes dead?
Yeah.
Depends on the car. Usually a normal battery will go dead within probably, I don't know, 5-6 weeks. If you don't drive it, probably. Depending on the car, how many modules it has on it.
And the weather, right?
Yeah, weather can definitely affect that, yeah.
Maybe you just turn it on from time to time.
I'm sorry?
Like you just turn it on from time to time.
Yeah, or you can just start it every once in a while, yeah, start it every week, let it run, warm up. If you're gonna do that, at least let it get up to operating temperature, let it warm up. Don't start it for 5 seconds or, 2 minutes, okay? Give it time for the battery charge, let the fluids get circulated, whatever. If you don't wanna drive it, that's fine, but at least start it once a week. Okay? Battery size and ratings we'll get into a little bit. Purpose and function of your automotive batteries: provide a power source for your electrical, starting, all that kind of stuff. And for electrical demands that exceed the alternator output. Because remember, once the car is started, you're running off of the voltage the alternator is producing, not the battery, okay? It also acts as a voltage stabilizer for the entire electrical system. This is going to tell you basically how a battery is made. Got a polypropylene outer shell, lightweight plastic basically, with grids inside of it. Each positive and negative plate in a battery is constructed on a framework or grid made primarily of lead, which is why batteries are so heavy. Lead is heavy, right? Positive plates have a lead oxide or lead dioxide peroxide placed in the grid framework. Negative plates have a pure porous lead. Separators are the non-conducting separators used, which allow room for the reaction of the acid with both plate materials. Cells are constructed of the positive and negative plates, insulating separators between each one of them. Each cell is separated from the other by partitions, which are made of the same material that's used for the outside case of the battery. Electrolyte is the term used for the acid solution in a battery, okay? Plates grouped in cells, installed in a plastic case. Grid from a battery in both positive and negative plates. That's what your plates in the battery look like. Two groups of plates are combined to form a battery element. And if you open up a battery, this is kind of what you're going to see there. Cutaway showing the connection to the cells to each other through the partition. Matter separated, that's a non-conducting spacer, which allows room for the reaction of the acid with the plates. Principles involved. When two dissimilar metals are placed in acid, electrons flow between the metals. The circuit is connected between them. The acid leaving the electrolyte and getting onto both plates is what happens during discharging. Fully discharged state. Both positive and negative plates are in the electrolyte, becomes water. A fully discharged battery can freeze because of that. Okay? Don't ever try to jump start a frozen battery. During charging, the sulfate from the acid leaves both the positive and negative plates, returns to the electrolyte where it becomes a normal strength sulfuric acid solution.
Is it gonna blow up?
Yep. A fully discharged battery can freeze. Don't try to jump start a car with a frozen battery, okay?
How can you make a battery?
I'm sorry?
How can you make a battery blow up?
How can you make it blow up? Why would you want to do that? Okay, since batteries do emit kind of an explosive gas, a battery can explode if it happens to be gassing and you create an electrical spark there by hooking a jumper cable up to it, charge or something like that. I've had it happen to me. I had a battery explode on me one time. It can happen. That's why they tell you when you jump start in a car, make that last connection on the negative away from the battery because it's going to create a spark as soon as you connect that last cable. Okay? Most cars have jump start terminals on them anyway that's away from the battery, so you don't have to worry about that spark. The battery works on the principle of chemical reaction. Fully charged battery being discharged to attached by electrical load. This is just showing you what goes on inside the battery when it's being discharged. And that's the charging definition of specific gravity. There's going to be tests for that. There's going to be test questions for specific gravity on batteries. I'll let you know what they are, okay? The amount of sulfate in the electrolyte is what that is. If it does have a charge indicator, which it won't, it's just a type of hydrometer, but they don't use in batteries anymore. It is only testing one cell, may not be a reflection of the other cells, which is probably the reason I quit using them. As the battery becomes discharged, the specific gravity of the battery acid decreases. Because the electrolyte is close to water when it's discharged, a dead battery can freeze in cold weather, as we already mentioned. This is what I was telling you about on the charge indicators, but you don't see those on batteries anymore. They took those off. Okay. Might want to make a note of this, showing the specific gravity based on how much charge the battery has, or at least highlight that in the book. I think that chart's in the book as well.
Did I have you guys do this?
Um,
I don't remember.
I don't know, did you guys?
Did I have
think
you guys fill
did
this out for
already,
capping
right?
gown?
Or did you?
Height and weight?
Oh, you
Okay.
did?
So graduation will be on the 4th of June. I just need your name, your height, and your weight, and whenever you guys get a chance, okay? Thank you. So I can order caps and gowns.
I don't know how much I weigh. I never know how much I weigh. I am not that type of female that keeps track of her weight.
Okay, we'll just take a stab at it.
Okay.
When put Maji's?
What's that?
When put Maji's?
Do you know his?
Oh, do you know it?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess you can put him down too then. If you know it, then that's good.
You want to text him to make sure? What if you get it wrong?
Then it's his fault.
You put 5'11" for Maji. Huh?
6 foot.
What's so important about this chart?
You're gonna be asked specific gravity questions. So, that probably come up on the ESV as well in the battery section, so. They might ask you something like, what is the specific gravity on a battery that's fully charged? And you're gonna say it's approximately 1.2. Probably won't have to worry about the last 2 digits, but if you get 1.2, you'll probably be okay.
Well, 2.6 is the fully and 2.2 is 75.
Mm-hmm. Okay, most batteries are called flooded batteries. You know that when you do battery testing, right? That's one of the questions it asks you, isn't it? Flooded means that the liquid electrolyte is in the battery and is not absorbed into the separator like it is on an AGM, which we'll get to. Flooded battery is not an AGM. Swap times work and start-stop vehicles. Those are enhanced flooded batteries. Everybody's heard of AGM batteries, right? AGM stands for absorbed glass mat.
No, I've never heard of that.
You haven't?
I seriously haven't.
After all those battery tests, you've never heard of an AGM? It
Nope.
didn't ask you that on the tester? It should ask you if it's flooded or AGM.
I don't recall
Hmm.
seeing that.
Okay, AGM battery absorbed glass mat, all that means is the acid in the battery is totally absorbed into the separator, making the battery leak-proof and spill-proof. That's the difference between an AGM battery and a regular flooded battery, okay? They're leak-proof and spill-proof.
Leak-proof and stuff.
Oh,
Yep.
is that like the Everlast batteries? Why they're so expensive? Because they're the AGM?
Well, if it is, it'll say on it.
Yeah, because last time I went to the doctor, I was 6 foot. I just want to make sure I'm still in that range.
You think it shrink?
You look like you're 5'9", 5'10".
Shoulder to shoulder is the, what's it called, is the height thing. So if you're, okay, so if you're actually measuring on the wall, it's obviously it's by the measure. But if you're just measuring side to side to see the range of it, shoulder to shoulder is height.
So you're 6
Okay.
foot.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you guys got this down?
So are there, I'm reading this and I don't see where it would say like which type of battery would go into like which vehicle, like is there battery that will go into like a specific vehicle, like?
Not necessarily, but a
Oh,
lot of
race
times when the batteries are inside the vehicle, they use AGM batteries because they won't leak or spill. Normally, not every time, but
So like race cars don't use a different type or special type of battery?
they do, yeah,
Oh.
depending on, you know, what type of racing, but yeah, they will use a
Well,
special
F1.
battery.
What about F1 cars?
So would they use the
How about who?
gel?
F1 cars, like
Those are
circuit
actually,
racing.
those are actually hybrids.
They
F1
are?
cars are.
Oh yeah, huh? Cause like they go up to like 15 miles an hour and then they switch over. I've heard a lot of different
Yeah,
cars.
they have a gasoline engine and electric motor as well, assist, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Seen those videos of like when they leave the pit.
It's quiet,
and
it kicks on. Yeah. Sounds so fucking nice.
Cool.
It sounds so
Awesome.
good.
Yeah.
What about
Yeah.
drift cars? You know,
That I don't know about. I would guess they would use AGM batteries just because,
like
you know,
like
they won't leak or spill.
Turning.
yeah, like
I
SD
would-
cars.
I would guess, yeah.
Okay. I'll look that up actually.
Gelled electrolyte. Silica is added to the electrolyte, which turns into an electrolyte into substance similar to gelatin. Valve-regulated lead acid batteries, they use a low-pressure venting system that releases excess gas and automatically reseals. The buildup of gas is created due to overcharging.
Okay, excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, but how much do you guys think I let? And I will not be insulted, but I really don't know.
130.
130?
Yeah.
Looking at you, maybe like
That'd probably be about right.
I'm tiny.
140, 130,
I'm
Yeah.
tiny,
Like
tiny.
130.
720.
Yeah,
130?
I would say that's probably pretty close.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, thank you.
I would say that's pretty close. AGM battery. Again, a lot of times you'll see those if they're mounted inside the vehicle, in the trunk, passenger compartment, whatever. Thank you very much. Normal useful life of your battery is what?
7 years.
If you live here,
2 years.
3 years.
you'll get 3 out of it, probably, if it's under the hood. If it's inside the vehicle, you might get 4 or 5 out of it. Because of the extreme temperatures, if the battery's under the hood and you live here, you probably won't get much more than 3 years out of it. 4, maybe. Battery sulfation is what happens when a battery is left in a discharged condition. Overcharging can cause the active plate material to disintegrate, fall out of the supporting grid or framework. Do not overcharge a battery or charge it too fast.
I have a quick question. So if you buy a brand new battery and that battery dies and it's staying up for 12 months, what could be the problem? Like the issue with that? Is it the car or is it the battery?
If you buy a brand new battery for your car and it goes bad in 4 months, something wrong with the car.
Shouldn't there be a warranty?
So what could be the problem?
Parasitic drain, probably.
Drain?
Yeah, something that's constantly draining the battery. You can do a parasitic draw test on it with a meter like that. Yep, in that case, the car probably wouldn't start after it sat for a couple of days either, because it would drain the battery that quick.
I had a friend that was a BMW, the battery's in the back. He
Uh-huh.
bought a brand new battery and that thing just died. It's been 4 months.
Yeah,
Now
that's,
he carries like a trickle charger with him, so like everywhere he goes.
yeah, that car's got a parasitic draw on it. It's got something that's not shutting down, it's drawing on the battery all the time. Battery hold downs, those just keep the battery in place, keep vibration from tearing the battery up. Battery vent tubes, sometimes they're installed on a vehicle that has the battery inside the car. Probably seen those, it's to route those fumes outside, so they do not get into the passenger compartment.
So the batteries that they use on FD are just regular batteries.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes you will see these vent tubes on a vehicle that has a battery inside the car. Make sure you unplug these vent tubes before you pull the battery out of it. You don't want to break those. Make sure you connect them to the new battery.
I've actually never seen that.
It's only gonna be on a battery that that's inside a car, in the passenger compartment. If it's in the trunk or under the hood, it won't have it,
Oh, okay, okay.
okay? If it's inside the car, it will have that.
Under the rear
That,
seat.
because that way you don't get those gases inside the car. Obviously, that would not be good, right? Okay, battery left in discharge condition. Sulfate batteries, obviously not good. Battery ratings, you know that batteries are rated according to a few different things. Cold cranking amps and cranking amps. Cold cranking amps is measured at 32 degrees normally. Number of amps that can be supplied at 0, 18 degrees. Cold crank amps, I thought cold crank amp was 32. Is it 0? Maybe it is. She'll maintain a voltage of 1.2 per cell or higher. How many cells does the battery have?
Like 12,
12?
6 on each side.
6?
It has 6 cells.
You see that count?
On page 579, cells are constructed of positive and negative plates. A cell is also called an element. The greater number of plates. A 12-volt battery of 12-volt, a 12-volt battery contains 6 cells connected in a series, which
Okay.
produce 12.6 volts.
Okay. So each cell produces a little over 2 volts, right?
Yeah.
2.1.
Yeah. Okay, so what they're telling you here is, in the cold cranking amp rating, it should be able to maintain 1.2 volts per cell as it's cranking for 30 seconds, okay? Regular cranking amps measure at 32, okay? Cold cranking amps is 0, cranking amps is measured at 32 degrees. Reserve capacity is the number of minutes a battery can produce. The amperage, 25 amps. Still have battery voltage of 1.7 volt per cell, 10.5. If you're testing a battery with a load tester, which we don't see anymore, unfortunately, 10.5 is usually the limit. If it drops below that, battery is not good. Amp hours, how many amps its current battery can produce over a period of time. The battery has a cranking amp rating of 1,000. This means it's capable of cranking an engine for 30 seconds at a temperature of 32 degrees, at a minimum of 1.2 volts per cell. Okay, batteries are grouped into sizes, standardized by the BCI, or Battery Council International. Typical group sizes. 24, 34, 35, 65, 75, 78 typical group sizes. Basic configuration of the battery size and terminal location is how that works. Okay, I'm gonna remember not to give you one. Took 3 tries, but I figured it out.
Oh yeah, what happens, like, so you know, like, the rules, like, don't tilt the battery or,
Mhm.
what was it, like 45 degrees?
Mhm.
What happens if it, like, lays flat on its side?
Lays flat on its side. Well, it'll end up leaking after a period of time.
The battery has to smell like rotten egg.
You can, yeah.
I was asking
Not
because,
good, yeah.
at the
If you get a
dealership,
battery that's hot or smells, the battery's probably bad.
I was asking because, last week at the dealership, one of the guys were changing the battery, and they had it sitting on the, like the front of the car, and they walked away to go grab a 10mm and came back and the thing fell off and landed on the side.
What fell off?
The battery,
The battery did?
the new battery, yeah. they
Oh,
broke it.
that's not good.
Yeah,
Did it hit the ground?
it fell right off and fell on the ground and fell on its side.
Oh, my God.
It didn't crack.
You know, think it would've cracked the
Oh,
case
it's
and
so
started
hot.
leaking.
I
It
didn't
might have ruined the battery. The battery can't put up with a hit like that.
Okay,
Yeah, it might have ruined it.
let's hope not.
Customer might be back.
Yeah, they might be back. That would be a case where the battery only lasted 2 weeks. What happened?
Bless you. Bless you.
What was it?
Allergies right now.
How long do you think scars heal?
Huh?
How long does it take for scars to heal?
It depends on the burn. If you break the burn, you have first, second, and third. So it all depends. Right now, you have like a second degree because it's a blister. And it all depends on your specific body and your healing process as well.
You break your hand too? How you do that?
I was going down, you know, those poles that go down.
He was on the stripper pole.
No, I was at this kid's place, it was a birthday party. I was going down a pole, it had this pole, it was like, it was pretty high when I was going down. It had like a drop on it. I was like, I was gonna go down, right? I grabbed onto it, and I pulled on too tight, and I went down, and it just burned my hand. I just scratched it going fast down, and
I burned my arm this weekend.
Why you do that?
Just changed the oil in my car and my stupid ass did it the second I got home. And I got up under it and scraped my arm on my cap.
Damn.
When I first did it, it looked like fucking pork skins and chicharron. It's fucked up. Ugly like a motherfucker.
it bothered me, that's why.
Hmm?
It keeps bothering me, that's why.
I'm just glad mine's on my arm. It's like barely noticeable unless I touch something. Like earlier today, I was sitting there, I scratched my arm and I scratched it. I'm like, oh shit.
It's like my hands up, I can't do anything with it.
I know that looks pretty good bad too. Let's see. That's deep too. That's not like top of your skin. How hard are you gripping the pole when you went down?
I was just grabbing, but I can move myself like when I go down. I
Oh.
just scratched.
Were you like stopping yourself as you
Yeah.
were going? That's why.
You didn't use any powder before you did it, did you?
It's a kid's place. They ain't gonna give you no chalk.
No, when it started, when I felt it, it was burning the whole day. It didn't have no bump. As soon as I left, a bump started forming. I was like, damn, fuck that.
That's like a callus but on your palm.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Done?
Yeah.
All right. What do you mean,
No.
What do you do with you?
I started using the book, so it takes me longer, okay?
Yeah, right.
I didn't think there was too much to learn about batteries.
Well, you probably thought wrong.
I did think wrong. You ever get a burn while working on the car? Like a bad one?
More times than I can count.
Like what's so, could you think of the worst one you got?
I think of the worst one?
Yeah.
No, but it's almost always been on exhaust. Because obviously that's the hottest part of the, hottest part of the car.
Also,
Yeah.
write a reminder to bring your turns in the graduation. I wanna see it. I wanna hear it too.
Yeah, I can do that.
Please. Does this work?
Nope.
Remote?
Oh, laser works.
Oh, yeah, the laser, yeah.
Kinda.
You're supposed to be able to change the
The slides?
thing too, the slide too, but I never could figure out how to make it work.
Yeah.
96.
Mm.
You don't know how to make it work?
Hmm.
So this, I believe, connects to the computer.
Yep, it should have some sort of connection.
For
But
Bluetooth?
I never figured out how to make it work.
Go over to the little arrow, not the arrow, like where it shows this right here. I think where the little speaker
Right here?
icon is, speaker icon.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, it should. Okay, now click the little chat box. Bluetooth. Scroll down. Okay, then hit settings. Devices. And then go down to blue. Where's that? Should be something over here. Someone says anything.
I don't even know if that's for this
Should be some other
computer.
device. Should it go on the computer? Okay, try Bluetooth and we'll just see if this connects. Add Bluetooth or another device. Okay. Okay, so this right here. Yeah. So,
Should have a button that makes it discoverable, right?
and material, yes, that's right here.
He's not seeing it.
Cause you can connect those to this to that,
Oh,
but
you know what, it probably needs to be connected to the projector, not to the computer. Yeah. That, I don't know, but I've lived without it all this time, so I don't care. How's it going back there?
Good, I only have like 2 left.
Okay. 2 left, she says.
Okay, I'm done.
All right. Numero uno, Terrence. You're not used to being number 1, are you?
Huh?
Not used to being number 1, are you?
No, the positive battery plate is all of the above.
All right, it is.
which chemical is used to strengthen lead grids and maintenance-free batteries? Calcium?
That is correct.
No, on that one, I read it could be B2.
No,
Yeah.
right under it says all maintenance-free batteries are
On page
just calcium.
578, we're at.
Right here, right under it, it says, battery grids hold the active material and provide the electrical pathway for current created in plate. Maintenance-free batteries use calcium instead of antimony because 0.2% calcium is the same strength as 6% antimony.
All right, thank you.
Fabulous. All right.
Thank you.
Charge indicator, or the I that batteries don't have anymore. What does it tell you?
The electrolyte, water, pH. Is that right?
I got
Oh.
A.
Yeah, I got B.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Specific gravity. AGM.
I'll go with C. Number
C is correct.
And it's on the test.
I got laser.
Huh?
For them test.
It is.
The designated.
So is 5. So is 6.
Oh, shit.
For real?
6.
Yep.
What was 4?
So is 8.
Four with.
C.
4 is C.
Anything else
5,
besides?
6, and 8.
Okay,
You might want to remember as well.
got you. We're on 5 now, right?
We are on 5.
5 is B.
5 is B is correct.
Six. 6.
Oh, 6, sorry. What battery rating is tested at 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius? That is B.
Ranking amps, and that one you're gonna need to remember as well, along with 8. AGM batteries. Number 7.
Terrence.
Back to me.
Back to you.
AGM batteries differ from conventional leaded batteries in what way? A?
That is correct. The electrolyte absorbed in the glass separator will not spill.
Reserves, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Reserves capacity is the number of minutes a battery can produce 10.5 volts with how many amps? 25.
25.
Who's better than 24? 25.
You will see that one too.
Got you.
Each battery cell has an electrical potential of how many volts?
C. Oh, what A? I was thinking.
If it has an electrical potential of 2.1 volts and it has 6 cells,
It'll be C.
It's A, 2.1, it's on page 579.
which means a fully charged battery is 12.6 volts, right?
No, you told us earlier,
Yes.
right?
All right. Cold cranking amps, measured at what temperature?
0.
0. Cranking
Yeah.
amps 32. Cold cranking amps 0. Okay, we did that one. We did 2, we did 3, like we did 4, 5. Many GM batteries use a group size 78 battery. Yes, that's true. Let's see how you do on question number 7. What is it?
Oh, no.
Oh,
I asked him something.
huh?
I was asking.
What is this, 7?
Question number 7.
Oh, I'm looking here. But it's the first question on the chapter quiz.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with, we'll go with B.
You'll go with B. You are correct.
Damn.
I'm not correct.
How'd you get it right?
I just guessed it.
H2O is
It would be
water.
better if you actually knew it, but you're a good guesser. Because remember, the electrolyte becomes water. The only option for H2O.
What does the other one mean?
Sodium. Sulfur oxide. I think.
All right.
And that's actually on page 580 for that question.
580.
Yeah.
580. Oh, I see.
Number 8, sponge lead is used for which battery component?
Negative plates?
Negative plates. Okay? Which statement's true regarding internal grids of the automotive battery?
Is it both of them?
Both.
It is both. And we know each cell has a voltage potential of 2.1 volts.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, shit. Come on. Oh, well. Didn't want to do that. All right. Battery quiz or chapter quiz, and then we'll
Oh, we just did this one.
check
That one
what's
is
great.
for number 1. A for number 2. What was it, C for number 3, I think?
Technician A says distilled or clean drinking water should be added to the battery when electrolyte level is low. Technician B says fresh electrolyte solution. So what's the answer to question number 1?
We
B.
did one.
B.
B?
Yeah.
We did it.
Is this the number 4?
Then 2 was A.
By the way, the 3-minute charge test is going to be on the test as well. You'll find it on 589 in the green FAQ box.
When are we testing?
Wednesday, like we always do,
Are we doing the midterm today?
or tomorrow,
Okay.
depends, one or the other. Or maybe Wednesday, we'll get it done this week. That's
Gotcha.
for sure, we will get it done this week.
Can we make Wednesday test day?
Hmm?
Can we make Wednesday test day?
Yeah, we can do that.
Because
We
we
do both.
might finish this chapter by tomorrow.
Yeah,
Go
we'll
back
be,
to lunch.
we only gotta go to 55, we'll have plenty of time.
Gotcha.
Okay, answer to question 1 in the book was A, okay?
Yep.
You do not add electrolyte solution, it becomes electrolyte. Okay, what do we have for 2? All of them?
Number 1 in the book is A.
Mm-hmm,
I thought that was the same question as it was on the board.
mm-mm,
Oh.
we haven't seen that one. Battery's been charged on a popular European vehicle. What service should the
There was
technician
2?
perform? Register the battery to the vehicle.
Are we reading the right ones?
What?
Are you on 597?
No, we're on 585.
You're on the wrong test.
585?
Yeah,
You're on
chapter
the
quiz
wrong
on 585.
Oh,
bro.
shit, I went to the next chapter, didn't I? Sorry about that.
I'm like,
No wonder you guys are going, what the heck is he
You started
talking
reading
about?
Technician A, Technician B. I'm like, we don't even have one of those.
Okay, sorry.
It's A, B.
So number 1 is B.
Okay.
'Cause that's the same
Yes,
one we had on the
sorry.
board. Silly.
All right, we figured out my mistakes. I was already on the next chapter.
2 is
Okay, so yes, 1 is B, 2 is D, right?
2 is D. Yeah.
2 is D, yeah, both of them. Specific gravity 1.265 or higher, 12.6 or higher, fully charged. Okay, 3 is C, we did that one. What makes a battery low maintenance material used in the construction of the grids? A for 4. 5 we did is D. 6 we did is A.
7 is C, right?
7 is C, reverse reserve capacity, yep.
Is 8 B?
8 is B.
What is 9? Because I'm looking on.
What gases are released from battery when it is
I see
being charged?
sulfate. And sulfuric acid.
Hydrogen.
Yeah,
And
it's
oxygen.
D for 9, yep. And then specific gravity for 10. All right. Yeah, sorry, I had you confused there.
What was that again? B?
What was 10?
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, specific gravity, yep.
Gotcha.
All right,